Oh. Good morning and welcome to a ridiculously early ride here in Essex this morning. It's 6 AM and I'm on my way to Stoke Newington for the North London Dirt Ride. 70 miles of off-road goodness. However, I need to get the train down to North London first. Also, the UK is experiencing somewhat of a mini heatwave at the moment, and today is expected to get up to 24 degrees or around 75 Fahrenheit. That is very much short sleeve jersey weather. However, currently it's only 9 degrees or 48 Fahrenheit. Right, let's get to the train. Try and warm up a bit. It's definitely not looking like a heat wave at the moment. Hope this cloud burns off soon. Right, we're in Tottenham. Let's ride the 20 minutes to Stoke Newington. Still no sign of this morning haze burning off. Please warm up quick, my fingers are freezing. I've never seen Tottenham so quiet. I mean, I know it's 7 o'clock on a Saturday morning, but this is like 28 days later. Finally, some civilization. Right, well I'm here and I'm early, which is a first for me. So I'm just gonna sit up and wait for my buddy Kofi and just enjoy the surroundings and maybe a cup of tea before we start. Enjoy the surroundings. And I've got my brevet card, which needs to be stamped halfway around. And there's a couple of stamps on the back for pizza and goodie bag. There's one for beer as well, but as I mentioned a few weeks ago, I'm not drinking in 2024, so I might give that to someone else. But yeah, pizza and a goodie bag sounds good. Kofi! Oh yeah. Okay, so we've started and we've finally made it onto the gravel after a good few miles of road, and we find ourselves at the bottom of Ali Pali Hill, and I fear that we're going to be climbing up to the top of it in a minute. Oh, well, that was the first of 8 registered climbs, and we're still not at the top. Yeah, that one hurt. Stupidly, I haven't actually checked out the elevation data for today. That might have been a mistake. Was that a Kofi flattish ride? Kofi is well known for choosing flattish routes that are then like climbing Ventoux. Right, well, I feel like that's only the start of it, and with 7 more registered climbs to go, this is going to be a long day. I knew that hill was going to be trouble when I went down into first gear and still had to stand up. No relent when I sat back down, nowhere to go. Right, that's Alexandra Palace done, but I fear that there's going to be more climbing before we finally leave North London. Somehow I just got pushed up to the A group, and coming up that hill, the pace was spicy. I'm very much a B group rider. I think I'll drop back. The great thing about this ride is because it's not a road ride, we're coming down some absolutely awesome little back roads, alleyways like this one. We're losing our way, we're doubling back on ourselves, and as Kofi's just pointed out, oh, big bump. This is like a Saturday ride out with your mates as a kid. What way should we go? Let's go this way. No, let's go that way. This is awesome. Right, second registered climb of the day. I've actually not filmed much of this ride so far. We are about 13 miles in, and I've just been really enjoying it. Chatting to the lads, just having a great time on the bike. But importantly, the sun is starting to burn off that morning haze, so it's starting to warm up a little bit, which is nice. But yeah, second registered climb of the day, 3% for 3/4 of a mile. Let's get this done.
That's pretty dangerous. Thank you very much. We'll bear that in mind.
Have we just been told off? We've stopped for some reason. This lady, I don't know whether she's giving us directions or chiding us for coming down this road.
What's going on out here? Like, what is this thing with Pete? You turn up and everyone goes wild.
It's all my fault.
Are we not supposed to be here?
I have no idea. We've now had 2 people stop us, one in a car, one walking a dog. and I still don't know why, because I was at the back of the group. We'll find out what happens at the bottom of this hill. Right, well, I've still no idea what the problem was there. One of the ladies said that it was frightfully dangerous down this road. No idea what she means. Bloody hell, my suspension seat post is paying for itself down here. So I've had the GoPro stuck in my back jersey pocket with the mouth mount sticking out of the pocket for easy access. However, despite the fact that I do have a rear mudguard, clearly a bit of mud has got onto the mouth mount. Not that I saw before I put it in my mouth. So now my mouth's a little bit gritty. Right, just over 15 miles down and I've already finished one of my 2 bottles, which is unheard of for me. So we need to get to the 35-mile halfway spot so I can fill that one back up. I need to ration this water now. This has been a tough ride so far. As Jimmy and I always say, gravel miles count for 3 road miles, and that's very much the case today. Oh, Jesus, what happened there? Right, well, disaster struck because as I was just coming through that entrance there, my rear wheel seemed to slip out of the dropouts somehow. It clearly wasn't tightened in properly. Then when I got it pushed back in and went to ride away, the wheel was rubbing for some reason. Couldn't figure out why. I've just taken the wheel off and yeah, take a look at this. That is a seriously bent brake disc. So let's try and bend this back into place so we can get moving. Well, this could spell the end of my ride, unfortunately, but hopefully not. Let's see what we can do. Well, that's still severely bent, but hopefully it's better than it was, because it was completely stopping the wheel before. So hopefully now the worst I'll have is a bit of brake rub. Right, well, it's still rubbing and it's a bit draggy, but let's see how I get on going up this hill. Well, coming up this hill, I can definitely feel that rear brake is dragging. This is a lot harder than it looks like it should be. And unfortunately, the only tool that I don't have on my Toe Peak Hexus multi-tool is one of those brake disc tools that you can use to bend it back into shape. Note to self. But listen, I'm back on the move, and that's the most important thing. Nice little flowy downhill section. Fly in the mouth, which is the only problem with going fast downhill through a field. Yeah, now we're back on the flat. I can definitely feel that brake rotor rubbing, definitely bringing down the average speed. That's my excuse anyway. The sun's out, I'm not going to complain. I've managed to catch back up with the lads, which is nice. Well, this bit's very nice. A nice downhill muddy section. I can now really hear that brake disc rubbing though. That is going to grate over the next 50 miles. Right, climb number 3 of the day. 5% average for about a third of a mile. And if it wasn't bad enough, I can definitely feel that brake rotor rubbing now. I'm down in first gear. These next 5 climbs are going to be tough. But happily, that noise you can hear over there is the M25. So I'm now in beautiful, leafy Hertfordshire, and we'll soon be turning east towards Essex. And I've just remembered that this route goes through Epping Forest, but going down, I think, anyway. So that'll be a very welcome change. So even with a bent disc rotor, I'm still going faster than traffic on the M25. I know where I'd rather be. Right, we've just had a quick pit stop and I had a brainwave in that the calipers that I've got on this bike have a little potentiometer on them, allowing you to move the pads in and out. I don't know how common that is on other bikes, but on this bike, my brakes have it, which is good. So I've turned it all the way out so the pads are as far apart as possible. That does mean that the disc rotor isn't rubbing anymore, but it also means that I have no rear braking now. Oh well, 90% of the braking comes from the front anyway, right? But I can't tell you how much better it feels not being dragged backwards as you're going uphill. Oh boy, those last two hills were a struggle. You know you're on a good dirt path when your front wheel goes one way and your back wheel goes the other. There are some muddy sections very close to this barbed wire here. Not keen on that. That was sketch. Coming downhill about 25 miles an hour and the front wheel beds into some shingle. That was a squeaky bum moment. I've got to say this route has been awesome so far. It's got everything. Mud, gravel, road, absolutely fantastic. Right, I've just found myself suddenly on the 4th of the 8 registered climbs today. This one is 4% for about a third of a mile. At least I haven't got a rubbing disc rotor now. And yeah, it's getting warm now. I'm regretting moaning about it being a chilly haze this morning. Right, 4 of the 8 climbs done. I would say it's all downhill from here, but clearly we've still got 4 climbs to do. It'll be all downhill after the 8th one. And back on the rough stuff. Straight into climb 5 of 8. And this is a muddy and slippery one. Lovely downhill section, straight into the 6th climb. Climbs are coming thick and fast now. Yeah, and it just. Yeah, that's quite deep. Maybe we'll take the, is that a broken down fence? Oh well, if it works. So we can't go through this puddle, so someone's broken a fence down and used it as a makeshift bridge. Right, back on the bike. 6 miles-ish to go to the halfway stop, which I'm very much looking forward to because I am nearly out of water. Right, let's get this 6 miles done. Right, well we've come to yet another stop. I'll show you why. Yeah, you're gonna go that way. Oh, I'm through. Oi, nearly. I mean, what were we expecting from the North London dirt ride, I guess? Bloody hell, are they 32mm slicks as well?
They are.
Or semi-slick? Are they commuter hybrid tyres? I mean, that is a brave bike to be doing this ride on.
We'll see what happens.
Now we've just got that to go through. Yeah. I can't even clip in. There we go, I'm in. Let's do it. That fella appears to be doing it on a hybrid commuter bike, or I mean, it could be a road bike with 32mm semi-slicks. He's a braver man than I. Also, I just want to point out, do bear in mind that I still have no rear brake. I'm currently having to brake downhill in mud with my front wheel. This is pretty sketch. Right, we're off and walking again because this mud uphill, yeah, no traction. You just cannot move in it.
What if there's a northern car wash thing?
Yeah, we need a jet wash at this stop, like a cyclocross race. Quick pit stop, jet wash the bike down, clean everything off, start again. Oh, oh, no, it's like, oh. Back wheels come off again. Right, well, update, because you probably saw the massive stack that I just had, and I've really hurt my finger and my thigh. So yeah, coming up the ramp here into the car park of the pub where the stop is, and I don't know what happened, but again, my rear wheel slipped out of the dropout, and the wheel just stopped, wouldn't go any further. The rotor jammed into the caliper and I didn't unclip in time. It all happened too quickly, didn't have a clue what was happening. So fell down, landed on my hip, landed on the handlebars, and my chin, which has a nice little lump now, landed square on the pavement. I had the Shimano guys have a look at it. The disc rotor is so completely bent out of shape, he couldn't even get it back into shape. So it's now rubbing completely on the brake caliper. Worse than it was before, because it's obviously completely bent it out of shape again now. So I don't know what to do now. I've got 30 miles to do back into London. But I am very close to a train station that goes straight to my home station. So do I continue? I don't know. I'm genuinely conflicted because I'm not one to give up. I don't want to give up, but ultimately the bike's in a pretty bad shape. So I don't know how dangerous it is. I mean, in fairness, it's probably very dangerous to try and continue. I told the rest of the fellas to go on, so and I've got a couple of the lads that are here just waiting back at the moment, but I'm going to tell them to go on as well. I'm going to have a drink and have a think about it and make a decision. I'll be back.
Fortunately, you can't.
Right, well, against all odds, the Shimano fella has just found a 160mm rotor, so he's now fitting that to my wheel, which is very nice of him. I'm more than happy to pay this fella double what it actually costs to get me back on the road. So the dream may not yet be over. Let's see. I've still got the issue of the wheel dropping out of the dropouts constantly, but yeah, let's see how we get on with the new rotor. Well, as you can see, I'm back on the move. The Shimano guys did an absolutely top job. They managed to find a new rotor in their van, which they fitted very kindly to the bike for me, and when I asked how much it was, completely free. I mean, what an absolutely incredible service that is from Shimano. I still don't know whether the quick release skewer issue is going to raise its ugly head again. For whatever reason, I just don't seem to be able to tighten it enough into the dropouts. He was happy. Yeah, so I don't know what the issue is with the rear quick release skewer at the moment, because I can't seem to tighten it enough into the rear dropouts. I pushed it in earlier and I could barely get it closed, so there's no way that I could have got it any tighter and it still managed to come out. So what the Shimano guy suggested is don't get out of the saddle, very high cadence, spin the legs and don't get out of the saddle, because what's happening when I get out of the saddle is I'm taking weight off the back wheel but putting power through the chain, and as the chain is spinning it's pulling the wheel forward and pulling it out of the dropout. Again, I don't know exactly why the quick release skewer is coming out of the dropouts, but that is another problem for another day. So long as I can do the next 30 miles, here's hoping. I've told most of the lads to head off and get going because we were stopped at that halfway point for quite a while, but I'm joined by Dale and Charlie behind me, so it's nice to still have a little bit of a crew. Hopefully we can enjoy the rest of this route. Hopefully there will be no more calamities on this ride. Famous last words. This is lovely and serene along here. Could do with a bit more of this, please. So we just got chatting to Charlie here on the ride. He appears to have come on is it like a hybrid commuter style bike?
It is a cheap decathlon road bike. Some would say silly, I would say courageous.
Yeah, listen, let me tell you, there is nothing wrong with cheap decathlon bikes. My first bike was a B-Twin 500 SE and it is still going strong, but they're absolute bulletproof. Yeah, very brave. And have you got like 32mm semi-slick?
Something like that, yeah. There's been a few hairy moments, but I'm still upright, I'm still alive, I'm still having fun. So it's all good. Back to you in the studio.
You've done this before. He's doing better than me, let's say that much. He's not fallen off, smashed his chin, his thigh, and bent his left ring finger back. So yeah, he's doing a lot better than I am today. He's a brave man. Courtesy of Dale. Cheers, Dale. Right, well, we're 44 miles in, 24 left to go. We found ourselves back on the road and we're on a long, slow burner of a climb. But we've got the 7th of 8 big climbs coming up. It's not even started yet. We've got about a mile to go. If this one's anything to go by, I'm not looking forward to that one. There has been, and is currently, a bit of a spring wind at the moment, and it's a bit of a double-edged sword because it is quite a nice, refreshing, cooling breeze in this now 27-degree heat. But also, I hate a headwind. I'm conflicted again. This is not looking favourable for your semi-slick tyres, mate. Oh my god, my legs are just spinning. The wheels aren't doing anything. Just under halfway up. Right, I'm gonna stop filming and I'll see you at the top, because I suspect that to the top of this hill is gonna be much of the same. Oh man, that was a killer. Climb complete though. 7th of 8. Yeah, I had to get off and walk that last bit. It was like this. We're back on hard compacted gravel now, which is always a lot nicer. Finally, we're at climb 8 of 8 and it's on grass. It's another trail climb. Let's get this one done and then it's all downhill back into North London. Right, we're finally out of the forest. We've got a lot of downhill now, which I think we deserve. There was some absolutely mega muddy climbs in amongst that lot. What a sight that place is, the Lee Valley Velo Park. But in more unfortunate news, I appear to have developed a rear puncture, but it seems to be a slow one. Everything's just suddenly started to get a bit draggy and resistant. It's staying up for now, so we've only got 4 miles to go, so let's see if we can make it on a half deflated tyre. I can't be bothered stopping and changing it. Right, well, we just got to the point where my back tyre was completely bottoming out and I was worried that I was going to get a pinch flat. But I've just stopped briefly to pump the tyre up because we have 2 miles left to go, probably less than that now, 1.5 miles. It seems to be holding up for now. Let's see if I can get to the end. Oh boy, this has been an adventure. There's the church, we've nearly made it. 4 miles on a flat tyre. Right, we're back. Oh, what a day, what an adventure. Last 4 miles, flat tyre, I'm ready for a drink. Cheers, buddy, thank you very much. I mean, it's not as good as a fully alcoholic beer, but it will do for now. And as I've said before, I am no alcohol for 2024. And I've said it now, so because I'm stubborn, I have to stick with it. Right, I do need to get this tyre fixed before I head back to the station, but for now, cheers. Cheers, gentlemen. That was a good ride, well-deserved beer. But yeah, for now, I'm going to enjoy the beer. Right, well, beer drunk, non-alcoholic beer drunk that is, and back en route to the train station to go home. So what have I learned today? Well, I've learned that you can survive on a slow puncture for about 4 miles. Well, 2 miles, pump it up, and then another 2 miles. And the final thing I learned is that Shimano are absolute legends. Big shout out to the 2 guys that completely sorted out my bike earlier when I genuinely thought I was going to have to phone the wife to come and pick me up. So yeah, Shimano got me back on the road. Big ups to them. But also, not necessarily something I learned, but it definitely reinforced my belief that 1 gravel mile is equivalent to 3 road miles. Today was a beasting and an adventure, but it was great Type 2 fun. And my final thing is just how awesome the cycling community is. I know I've said it before, and I will say it many, many times again. Before today, I'd never met Dale. He is a member of the Ride for Unity family, but we'd never actually met. And as for Charlie, he was a complete stranger until this morning. But I love the fact that the 3 of us formed this sort of trilogy. And when we got to the halfway point and I crashed out, I was telling them, look guys, you need to go on ahead because I don't think I'm going to be able to go any further. But they waited and they said, look, let's see what's going on. We'll see what's happening. And if we can all leave together, then we will. And we all got to leave together. And then even then, when one of us was struggling, the other 2 stayed back. When I was struggling, they stayed back. And that is what I love about the cycling community. 3 complete strangers coming together, helping each other out, all for the love of cycling. That is the best of all of us and the best of cycling. So despite the crash, despite the 2 crashes in fact, despite the multiple muddy climbs we had to go up, it was an adventure. It was Type 2 fun. But would I do it again? Absolutely. I'll be back next year. But for now, North London Dirt, done. So with all that said, I'm nearly at the train station. I'm gonna get home, have myself a good shower because I am filthy, have something proper to eat and a nice hot cup of tea. So as ever, thank you very much for watching and I will see you in the next one. Take care.